Hello, this is Julian with Coffee Reviews, and today we'll be reviewing the Ture Waji Natural Processed Ethiopia from Manhattan Coffee Roasters. And there's the bag right there. And Manhattan Coffee Roasters based out of Rotterdam in the Netherlands. A year ago today, I'd never heard of this coffee roaster, and 1 year later, they're one of my favorite coffee roasters in the entire world, and I've done quite a few reviews of their coffee since. That does include, of course, the 2020 first place winner of my favorite coffee for the entire year, their Natural Processed Ethiopia. So, saying another Natural Processed Ethiopia, I had to give this a shot, see if it could compete with what was my favorite coffee of all of last year. All right, let me get the details out of the way. This one, I experimented with it a lot. It was brewed at 16.67 to 1, that's 204 degrees Fahrenheit, my standard recipe. For the most part, I don't know if I ever found a recipe that I thought was perfect for this. The coffee is a little complex. And it was brewed through the Chemex, of course, and this is a light European roast profile. So with that out of the way, let's start discussing this coffee. This right here is day 18. All right, day 7, it was a pretty prominent fruit bomb. I would call it somewhat of a softer strawberry, closer to an actual strawberry than strawberry flavoring. And the way I like to describe that is, if you have ever been to Japan or if you've ever tried any of Japanese products, like strawberry milk, for example, it tastes more like strawberry than what is American kind of like strawberry artificial flavoring. That's kind of how I would describe the strawberry in this coffee, is it's more of an actual strawberry rather than the artificial strawberry flavoring. It's day 9, still very much a fruit bomb, but it had some really nice crisp acidic fruit to it. They describe it as pear on the bag, and I would definitely say that was pretty prominent throughout, either pear or apple, but throughout the entire time I was drinking this coffee, it was definitely notable, definitely there, definitely prominent. Day 12, it was a little funky on this day, which was a little different. A bit of a kind of cereal taste with some lingering berry in the background, more of a blueberry tapering off into a strawberry. Again, more of an actual flavor than a flavoring, like artificial flavoring, more blueberry, strawberry, legitimate blueberry and strawberry. Day 13, huge abundance of fruits. Maybe I would describe this as a syrupy fruit cocktail, and I think you're kind of seeing a trend in this. I can't really describe 2 of these days as the coffee being the same. On no 2 days did this coffee actually taste the same. There were similarities, but at no point would I say this was the exact same as this day. Day 15, ever-changing fruit bomb again, often came off as maybe fruit juice, described as maybe a pear or an apple juice with some strawberry, some blueberry to it. Very interesting. Day 17, didn't quite enjoy it as much as I had on other days. Felt at times a bit of maybe some raspberry in this coffee as well. Some notable fruits at times, and then at other times there's a little bit more tame, a little bit more of that apple pear juice. And this coffee was ever-changing. I can't emphasize that enough. No 2 days similar. All right, let me go ahead and flip the tasting wheel so you can see what I was getting. And one thing I do want to note is that maybe the first thing I'll jump out is the caramel at 4. When it comes to these Manhattan coffees, there's this beautiful sweetness that I have such a hard time taking out and describing exactly what it is. In the most generic and broad sense, I will call it a brown candy. It's a brown candy. It's either a caramel, it's a butterscotch, it's some sort of toffee. It's like this kind of melted brown candy taste that is really present in quite a few of their coffees, and I think it's really nice. Like, it makes these coffees unique and stand out. So I was expecting just a total fruit bomb here, and it was sometimes, but a lot of the time you were getting that really nice brown candy taste. So caramel, I put it at level 4, because whatever it is, if it's caramel, if it's butterscotch, then it's really prominent in this coffee, especially as it's kind of lingering. Berry fruit 4, it wasn't the super wild fruit bomb that their Chantilly was last year, but it was there quite a bit. Sweetness pretty high, florals at 3, again underrated on the florals. Body relatively low, and not too much of anything else. Acidity kind of low, and of course it's not going to be the cleanest cup of coffee as it is a natural. Alright, my thoughts and opinions of this coffee. Manhattan has set the bar exceptionally high for themselves, so everything they do from here on out I'm going to hold to probably a higher standard than I even hold Onyx or Sweet Bloom to. I enjoyed this coffee. It was probably my favorite natural Ethiopia of the year so far, but I have always mentioned that I'm not the biggest apple person, I'm not the biggest pear person, and having this instead of more of those blueberry flavors wasn't necessarily my taste, but I still think that there's a very strong chance this coffee might finish in my top 10 coffees of 2021, because it was a very, very good cup of coffee and I enjoyed it throughout. The type of person I would suggest this coffee to is definitely people that like their berries, like legitimate berries, as well as that kind of apple pear, especially kind of a fruitier juice taste to it, because this coffee was definitely that. It's definitely on the lighter side, so be sure to enjoy your lighter coffees, because that's the person I feel like this coffee would fit best with. But I'm going to leave it at that. If you, by chance, tried this Ture Waji, then I would love to know your thoughts and opinions of that, as well as Manhattan, because I've seen so many people just raving and hyping about Manhattan. I feel like I'm lucky I caught onto the train with everybody else, because the hype train with everybody else, because this coffee roaster is trending very, very positively. If you're enjoying the content, give this video a like and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. This right here has been a review of the Ture Waji Natural Processed Ethiopia from Manhattan Coffee Roasters. Thank you for watching.